It's Jaden. Today we're gonna discuss some chapters from the Rats of NIMH. So we're gonna start at Go to the Rats, okay? And we're going to end at the cage, okay? So we will so we're gonna talk about all the way to the cage, to the chapter cage. So let's start. So Mrs. Frisby, so she's at the owl, right? And what does the owl, all in all, what is the owl saying? And then when Mrs. Frisby says that she's Mrs. Jonathan Frisby, how does the owl respond? And what does he tell Mrs. Frisby to do? And also, what is the lee of the stone? What is the lee? Because in the book it tells you, right? So and now we're going to the rose bush, and so the thing was, what was happening, and Mrs. Frisby was listening to her children's conversation before she came in to hear what they were talking about. And what were they talking about? And what did Timothy realize and begin to think when Mrs. Frisby got home? And what did she think? And so she goes to the rats, right? And also, had she ever seen the rats before, or like known them? And how did she get in there? And could you describe the tunnel? And could you describe what the entrance to the hole looked like then? And now we are going to the chapter about Brutus. And so what did the rats do to Mrs. Frisby? And while Mrs. Frisby was going back, and who did she meet? And why, and what part of his body had he hurt? And were you surprised when Mr. Aegis came in? Were you surprised that he was part of all of this? And also, so who was Justin? And then, so let's go. And then we will go inside the rat hole. What will happen? In the library, that's the next chapter. So why was Mrs. Frisby amazed when she got to the hall? What was amazing to her? And after to the hall, where did they go? And would you have been surprised by an elevator too? And okay, so now rats, there are a lot of rats, right? So, and do you think that Nicodemus is sort of like the leader of the rats? And how do you think he lost his eye? And also then Nicodemus tells Mrs. Frisby to wait where? And what is going on right now? And what do you think the plan is? And do you think, and were you surprised that the rats had electricity and had all this technology and could read and had books and had libraries and elevators? Were you surprised about that? And also, who did she meet in the library? And okay, who did she meet in the library? And the next chapter is Isabella. So, well, that is the answer. And who is Isabella? And also, what do you think all these words mean about the plan? Like group 1, 10 oats, 30 loaves equals 2 bushels. Group 2, 10 wheat, 30 loaves equals 2 bushels. Group 3, 10 corn, 20 loaves equals 1.5 bushels. What do you think all of that means? And also, do you think that, and why do you think that Justin did not, Isabel was okay when Justin called her Izzy? And also, who was the stranger rat that came in after? So, okay, now we can start on a new chapter, and it is a powder for dragon. And the stranger rat's name was Arthur, right? And so why was Dragon unactive when Mrs. Frisby saw her? And do you think that it's dangerous for Mrs. Frisby to do the powder? And how did Mr. Aegis break his ankle? Now it tells here. And how did her husband die because of that? And now Mrs. Frisby learns more about, but it is possible for the rats to move the stone, right? And now Mrs. Frisby learns more of the history, right? And so where do they go? And why is Mrs. Frisby surprised, right? So once you've answered the first question, then listen to this one. Why was Mrs. Frisby surprised when she went into Nicodemus's office? And now the marketplace, okay? So I sort of went into that marketplace too, but let's talk about the marketplace. So the marketplace, so what was the marketplace? What was it? And why did the rats go there? And one time there was a trap, right? Well, how was the trap? And who do you think those people are? And where do you think NIMH is? And inside the truck, can you describe what was it like inside the truck? And what about the laboratory? Do you think that the laboratory was comfortable? And all of that? Do you think that was all? And also, we'll talk about more about in the cage and what was like. What do you think they were talking about? About group A, 20 in series B, and there will be 20 for the control. But what do you think that means? And also, who was the leader of this place, leader of it, and who are his assistants? And do you know what a biologist is? This is just a random question. And also, that is the end of today. But I hope that you really enjoyed this book with me. I love this book. It's one of my favorite all-time books. And I hope you enjoyed this book too. Have a great day and see you next time.